Lorato was the kind of woman people admired quietly. Not because she was loud or demanded attention, but because there was something gentle about her. Something warm. Something that made people feel safe. She loved deeply. The kind of love that doesn't come with conditions. The kind that stays even when things get hard. And for a long time, she believed that kind of love was enough to build a happy life. When she met Thabo, it felt like everything had finally fallen into place. He noticed her in ways no one else ever had. He listened when she spoke. He laughed at her jokes, even the ones that weren't that funny. And when he looked at her, it felt like she mattered. They spent hours talking about their future, where they would live, how many children they would have, the kind of life they would build together. Thabo made promises easily, and Lorato held on to every single one of them. He told her he would always be there, that he would never hurt her, that she would never have to feel alone again. And she believed him. Their wedding day was everything she had ever dreamed of. Family, laughter, music, and joy filled the air. Lorato stood beside him, smiling so much her cheeks hurt, convinced she was stepping into a life full of love. For a while, it really felt that way. The first months of their marriage were soft and easy. They cooked together, laughed together, and shared quiet moments that made everything feel right. Even the silence between them felt comfortable. But slowly, almost so slowly that it was hard to notice at first, things began to change. It started with small things. Thabo came home a little later than usual. Conversations became shorter. His attention drifted. When Lorato spoke, he would nod without really listening. When she laughed, he didn't always laugh with her anymore. At first, she told herself it was nothing. Maybe he was tired. Maybe work was stressful. Maybe she was overthinking. So she said nothing. Weeks passed and the distance grew. The warmth that once filled their home started to fade, replaced by something quiet and heavy. Something that sat between them even when they were in the same room. Lorato began to notice the silence more than anything else. It wasn't peaceful anymore. It felt cold. Still, she tried. She woke up early to prepare his favorite meals. She wore the dresses he once complimented. She made an effort to keep conversations going, even when he gave her very little in return. She told herself that love required effort. That marriages go through difficult seasons. That if she just held on, things would get better. But no matter how much she gave, it never seemed to reach him. Thabo grew more distant with each passing day. His words became fewer. His tone became sharper. Sometimes he would sit in the same room as her and not say a single word for hours. And the hardest part was that he didn't seem to notice anything was wrong. At night, Lorato would lie beside him, staring at the ceiling, listening to his breathing. She would turn slightly, hoping he might pull her closer like he used to. But he didn't. She wanted to ask him what had changed. She wanted to ask if he still loved her. But the words never left her mouth. Because deep down, she was afraid of the answer. Days turned into months, and months into years. Somewhere along the way, Lorato stopped recognizing herself. The things she once loved slowly disappeared. She stopped singing while she cooked. She stopped calling her friends as often. She stopped dreaming about the future. Her world became smaller, quieter. Her smile became something she wore for others, not something she felt inside. To everyone else, their marriage looked perfect. They attended family gatherings together. They smiled in photos. They played their roles well. People would say how lucky they were to have each other. And Lorato would smile and nod, even when her heart felt heavy. because explaining the truth felt impossible. How do you tell people that you feel alone in your own marriage? How do you explain that the person you share a bed with feels like a stranger? So she kept quiet, and she stayed. Not because she was weak, but because she remembered who Thabo used to be. She held on to the version of him who laughed with her, who cared, who made her feel loved. She believed that version of him was still there somewhere. She believed he would come back. But he didn't.